Hello everybody, this is Andrew. I am starting a Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights. This is a pretty old game and I've just really loved it for a long time. And I've wanted to do a Let's Play for this for quite a long time and I've just never gotten around to it. But right now it is the coronavirus outbreak of 2020 and so I have a lot of time on my hands as I'm forced to shelter in place. This is the Diamond Edition, so it has the expansion packs of Shadows of Untitled and Hordes of the Underdark, as well as some other modules. But we're going to be playing the main campaign. We're going to start at the very beginning in the prelude. We're going to create our own character. I'm going to be playing as a male for this playthrough. I've done several playthroughs of this game. Just over the years, every few years I come back and play again because I've loved this game since childhood. And I actually have a personalized build that I'm planning on doing for this run through. It's going to be a weapon master, scimitar weapon master build. There are a couple different ways you could build this character. You could start with a human. They have an extra feat at first level and get extra skill points. If I were to do that, I would start off as a fighter. Choose lawful good. Our abilities. So this is where we get into the mechanics of it. Two different ways. You can go strength all the way to max, 18, really good at hitting and dealing a lot of damage. You would have dex to 13, con only at 12, so only a single bonus hit point every level, and you leave your wisdom low and your charisma low. And you bring your up to 13 because there are a couple of feats that you need in dexterity and intelligence to be 13 at as prerequisites to go into the weapon master class. Other way to do it would be to sacrifice just one extra strength after modifiers. Only take it up to 16. 13 with dex, 13 with int, and then you can build Constitution up to 16 by sacrificing a single point into the attack and damage, as well as some carrying weight. You can get 2 extra hit points per level, which is pretty nice. Or you can keep your con a little bit lower and bring up your charisma, increase your skill checks when talking to people and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of variance in here, but I'm actually not going to be going with human. I'm going to go with dwarf, because I think they're actually it fits this build just a little bit better, but you can easily change it up based on the type of role-playing you want to do. Ability adjustments. Humans don't have any ability adjustments. Dwarves get extra constitution and minus charisma, and their favorite class is fighter, so if they multi-class, which is what we're going to be doing, we're going to be going into weapon master, you don't lose XP as you're leveling up. So here are the special abilities they get. Stone Cunning, they get bonuses to search, which is basically used to find secret doors and traps and stuff like that when they're underground. Probably won't make a huge difference in this playthrough. Dark Vision, are able to see in the dark. I haven't really noticed any issues with lighting in this game, even in the supposedly dark places. There might be some behind-the-scenes mechanics where you might lose some attack bonus or something if you're in a place that's too dark for your character, but from our perspective as players, I haven't seen this make too much of a difference. The ones that really matter here are the hardiness versus poison in spells, which gives us bonuses to our saving throws if something ever tries to poison us, or this one's big, the hardiness versus spells, a +2 bonus against all saving throws for spells. As a fighter, we don't have a lot of defenses against magic, so this will really help us out in that aspect. Dwarves are good versus orcs and goblins. They hit a little bit more accurately against them, and they dodge more versus giants being so small. Which, oddly enough, they're not actually sized as small creatures. They're sized as medium creatures. Go figure. Only halflings and gnomes are sized small creatures. Neverwinter Nights is based off of the Dungeons & Dragons 3.0 edition system, I believe. I don't know how closely it matches the system because I've never played that one myself. I'm more of a Pathfinder guy. But yeah, that's where all these mechanics are based off of. And then just a nice little perk here, skill affinity, I get +2 racial bonus to lore checks. And we will be using lore in this run through. Alright, portrait. This is something I have not decided on, which is what do I want my dwarf to look like? Looks like it's just the first, 8, 9, maybe 10 that are dwarves. And they have some elves, gnomes, humans. There's a lot of cool portraits in here, half-orcs. There's definitely a lot of these are just the standard ones that come with the game. Oh, damn, man, that guy looks cool. But you can also, I've seen other people that have made Let's Plays of this, upload their own portraits. That's not something I'm going to be doing this run. Let's see. I like that look of them. We will be running with a shield, so we will be going with that. There's our guy. Class. We're starting off as a fighter. Really short list here. We have a decently strong hit die pool, so every time we level up, we'll be able to roll a d10 and get up to 10 hit points plus any bonuses we might have. Proficiencies, we're doing all simple and martial weapons, so anything that isn't an exotic weapon will be available to us. And then we're able to use all armors and all shields. Pretty low skill points, only 2 every level, plus our int modifier, which is going to be 1. Sorry about that. The class that we'll be moving into will be the Weapon Master. Same strong, they're melee oriented, so they're going to have a decent hit die pool. We should already have all our proficiencies from our fighter class, and same low skill points. That's not really why we're doing it. We're doing it for the special abilities that we get, and I'll go over those as we get closer to moving into the Weapon Master. But it'll essentially be a critical hit build. We're going to be using a scimitar through this playthrough, and we're just going to expand our crit range until it's very large. And so most of the time that we're hitting, we're going to be doing critical hits almost every single time. Or at least more than half the time, I would say. Requirements. So I have to have a base attack bonus of at least 5, which will take minimum 5 levels. The actual build, I will be getting my first level of Weapon Master, I believe, at level 7. We need a whole lot of feats. We need weapon focused in a melee weapon, dodge, mobility, expertise, spring attack, whirlwind, attack. And we need 4 points in Intimidate, and that's probably the only 4 points we're going to put in Intimidate. Other points will go elsewhere. Alright, so let's build our character out. I'm going to be a fighter here. Alignment. I'm going to be lawful good. I'm not super heavy on the roleplay. I definitely admire Let's Players that do that. Just have a really interesting character, great background. I'm not going to do anything crazy as far as that goes. The main reason I'm actually choosing Lawful Good for this is that there is a very good piece of endgame equipment, a shield, that we're going to be using that way surpasses pretty much any other shield, but it's only usable by Lawful Good characters. So that's why we're doing that. And I will try and play Lawful Good, but it's not going to be super hardcore. We might bend the rules here and there. Abilities. So with the dwarf, they already have the extra +2 in Constitution and the -2 in Charisma, bringing it down to a 6. So we're going to go all the way up with Strength to 18. So we have a +4 bonus just straight off the bat, which is huge. We'll be able to carry a lot. I won't be bogged down too much by inventory management, which will be great, especially for a Let's Play that has an audience. I don't want to be going back to town every so often. Dex, like I said, we have that list of feats. Some of those required 13. Constitution is going to be not super high, actually. It's only going to be a 14 here. Wisdom's going to stay at 8. Intelligence is going to go up to 13. And Charisma is going to stay at 6. So we're probably not going to win too many speech skill checks. At least early game, there's a lot of buffing you can do and special items that I can switch out as I'm having conversations with people that have speech spells or speech checks with us. But early game, it's going to be tough. And on skill checks that are repeatable, it's going to take a lot of repeats if I want to get success there. But hey, there are trade-offs. Always going to be trade-offs. Alright, packages. So there are some default packages where they just set up your character for you. Finesse, Pirate, Gladiator, Commander, and Weapon Master Katana. I'm actually going to build my own. So I'm going to go down here to configure packages. I used to think that Discipline was super useful for a fighter, or any melee person that might get into range with somebody that's going to be hitting them often. But I read over it recently, and actually how it works is that you basically roll an opposed check against the attacker's attack roll. So I'm a very strong character here, pretty much as strong as you can be right at the beginning, except for maybe a half-orc that also maxed out. So I'm going to get +4 from my my strength. If I add in the max number of ranks at first level, I get a +8 bonus. By the end of the prelude, just the short little tutorial area, I'll be able to get 2 more levels, bring this up to a 10, and then I'm going, and that means I only get a maximum +10 at 3rd level, and I have to beat somebody else that hit me already. But they're not going to hit me if they can't surpass my AC, which means the only targets I have to beat are my own AC plus whatever extra attack accuracy they have. But if we think that out, essentially I'm going to be having a +1 dodge bonus from my high dex. I'm going to have take the dodge feat, which is another +1 bonus because dodge bonuses stack. I'm going to have a half plate, hopefully, which will give me +7 just straight armor, which will bring up to 19, and I'll be having a shield, which is a heavy shield, which will be a +2 shield bonus to my armor for a total of, calculate that correctly, 21. So I only have a +10, which means anybody that hits me already has to beat a 21, so I have to roll at least an 11 in order to beat them at this, which is on a 50%. It's just a 50-50, even everything going super right. Them rolling the absolute minimum, me rolling, my best. It's only a 50-50. So I decided not to actually invest anything in Discipline. Instead, I'm going to start investing in Intimidate because I need that for my Weapon Master. I'm going to invest into Lore. And then I have choices here. I can either go with Tumble. I won't actually need the skill itself. What this does is it lets you move around in combat without taking attacks of opportunity, which are basically free attacks for people as you move through their spaces. The feats I'm going to get as a Weapon Master are going to make this null and void, essentially. The only thing good about this ability is that every time you put in 5 ranks, you get an extra dodge bonus to AC. But even though that stacks with other dodge bonuses, it's going to be slow because it's not a class skill, so I can only put half as many ranks in, and they cost twice as much. So instead, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to increase my appraise check, which basically gets me more money as I'm selling off items and such. And I have to do less restarts in order to get good rolls against merchants. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to leave... Ooh, the other thing I could do is I could put it into a Persuade rather than Appraise and try and combat my low score. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, actually. I think we're just going to not make as much money this run, but I will try and combat my low score in Persuade just so I don't have to save scum as often. I will be definitely doing save scumming this run. It's just an easy way to maximize a lot of things in this game. So I'll take advantage. Alright, so like I said, we are getting dodge, and we are going to also get weapon focus. Like I said, we were doing a scimitar run, so that is what we're going after. Weapon focus. Dodge for anybody wondering. Gives you a +1 dodge bonus to AC. Dodge bonuses stack. Most other types of bonuses to your armor class, which is basically how you keep from getting hit, do not stack. So that's a nice one there. And this just gives me, anytime I'm using a scimitar, I get +1 attack bonus to hit. Alright, customize. How do we want to look? I actually did not think this one through too much. Our head will be covered actually most of the game, because we'll be wearing a helmet of some sort. I like that beard. Tattoos, I don't ever plan to be able to see the tattoos. Body, we can be thin-ish or wide. Do we want to be a big brawny dwarf? I think we do want to be a big brawny dwarf. Skin color, once again it's going to be under the armor most of the time, but there we go. A little bit more of a chestnut and a little bit bronzier. Clothing doesn't matter too much. We're going to be switching out of it almost literally instantly as soon as the game starts. Alright, there we go. Some cool black leathers. Alright, so we're going to name him COVID. Quarantine. He's going to be COVID-19. Let's see what voice we want.
The battle is on! To your weapons, and don't let up. By my direction, attack! Attack! Get on him! Attack! Attack! I say attack! Strike it then! Attack! By my will, attack! Attack! To the fight, my friend! Don't just stand there! Their time has come. Once more into the breach. I want to see. Now! Strike swiftly.
Like that one a little bit.
Show them your steel. Now you shall taste. Time to spill some. I hear the battle call. Show them your steel.
Alright, I think we're going to go with Neutral Warrior. Even though it says Neutral Warrior, that sounds to me like, you know, a paladin. You know, big, lawful, good, strong guy. So we're going to go with that. His name is COVID Quarantine. And I think we're ready to play.
The Frozen North, the name given to the stark and unforgiving frontier that lies beyond the high moor of Faerun. A bleak wilderness where barbarian clans and tribes of giants roam the land and fierce dragons rule the skies. But amidst the frozen savagery stands a bastion of civilization, the city of Neverwinter, Jewel of the North. Behind the city's high walls, those both hardy and brave carve out an existence from this bleak land under the guidance and protection of the legendary hero, Lord Nasher Alagonda. Yet there are some things that all the courage in the world cannot stand against. A virulent plague swept the city, a terrible affliction that began in the beggar's nest. Soon, all of Neverwinter would feel the touch of the wailing death. The disease could not be cured. Panic ensued. The streets erupted into violence. The Jewel of the North was brought to its knees. To save Neverwinter, Lady Aribeth de Tilmarand, Paladin of Tyr, and Lord Nasher's right hand put forth the call for a champion. A rush of would-be heroes answered her call, some drawn by promises of grandeur and glory, others by the lure of gold. Those with the greatest potential were initiated into the academy to train and study under the greatest minds of Neverwinter, all in the hopes a champion might emerge to save the city from the wailing death and whatever sinister force might be behind it.
So here's the game. It is an old game. If I think somewhere in the early 2000s, or maybe 2000 itself, or maybe late 1990s. I'm not sure. But I've always loved this game ever since my young childhood. So I'm a-okay with the low poly view that we have right here. Right here is COVID. He's going to try and be a hero. So there is always going to be good stuff in this chest for your specific build. If you're a barbarian or a druid or whatever other type of character you chose, usually this chest has something that matches in some way your class. So that's easy. We have a scimitar, which actually makes our attack bonus higher. As we were saying, that feat that we got, the weapon focus scimitar. So we're already starting out at a +5, which is amazing for a level 1 character, or up to +6. Should make it very easy to hit things. Our armor class, which is basically how hard it is to hit us, is going to increase. We're going to be wearing studded leather armor to start off. That's going to last about 2 seconds. As when we head into the next room, we'll be giving even better armor. But for now, armor class 14. I'm just going to stack all of my potions. As you can see, they're in the hot bar down here. Short sword I probably will not be using. That's going to be one of those cells. And I will put a torch down in the bottom. Alright, I think everything looks good for now. This guy will want to talk to you, but if you want, you can kind of sneak past him. He'll try and stop your character, but if you keep walking past, he'll return. Items in these 2 chests are going to be randomized, but they're usually pretty low value regardless. But it's just a little bit of extra stuff you can sell. Alright, oh, something I forgot to do right at the beginning. I want to put a save file for this character. Some of my old saves. We're going to name this COVID. COVID 001. 001, so we always have a game file. Alright. Now let's go talk to this guy. Pavel.
Finally, you're up. I was afraid you were going to sleep all day. I guess the instructors work you pretty hard here at the academy. My name's Pavel. I'm one of the new recruits. I just arrived here at the academy this morning.
You're COVID quarantine, aren't you? Yes, I am COVID quarantine. Is it true what they say about you, that Lady Erebeth herself ordered the academy to send you an invitation to come here for training? I've never heard of anyone being invited to train at the academy before. Usually people are begging to get in. It must be a great honor for you. Yeah, I'll just choose. These are pretty inconsequential. They give you an option for role-playing. But we're lawful good, so we just take the straight and narrow path. It is both an honor and privilege for me to serve Neverwinter. You're pretty modest for someone who's got such high expectations on him. It wasn't quite so easy for me to get into the academy. My brother Bim and I were working on one of the nearby farms outside the city when we heard Lady Erebeth had put out a call for heroes to come up to the aid of Neverwinter. We knew the city was suffering, but we didn't realize how bad things were until we got here. We arrived just before they sealed the gates and quarantined the city. Thank gods I got accepted into the academy. I wouldn't want to be out there on the streets with the plague, not with the city guards barely able to keep order anymore. Alright, so you have a couple options here. You can learn more about the situation. I'm just going to go with the first one. I don't actually know that much about the plague. The Welling Death is a plague, worse than any recorded in the entire history of Neverwinter. The whole city has been quarantined. Nobody is allowed in or out. The Neverwinter militia do their best to enforce the quarantine, but people don't like being trapped inside the walls of a plague-infested city. Every day, more bodies pile up in the streets, and the citizens move one step closer to panic and open rebellion. Can't say I blame them. It's only been a few months, and already the dead number in the thousands. Alright, I gotta be honest. I've wanted to make this Let's Play for quite some time, and the quarantine that I'm currently under gives me an opportunity to do that. I didn't quite remember the plot. I mean, I understood what the plot was, but I didn't draw the parallels, how closely this matched my own situation. This is going to be pretty dark if the pandemic gets a lot worse. Right now it is late March, and things are looking like they're going to get bad, but we don't know how bad yet. Alright, just laying that out there, back to the game. Shouldn't someone be looking for a cure? Most people have given up any hope of finding a cure for the Wailing Death. Potions and medicinal herbs do nothing, and even the prayers of the city's most powerful clergy have been ineffective. I guess that's why Lady Erebeth ordered the Academy to open its doors to new recruits. The city needs a hero, someone who can save us all from the Wailing Death. The word on this street is that Erebeth is actually working on a cure right here in the Academy, but that's just a rumor, probably not even true. Let's go with, do you know anything more about the rumors of a cure? I only know what people are saying on the street. Some claim Erebeth has a cure, and she's going to start passing it out soon. Others claim she's keeping the cure for herself. But like I said, it's just rumors. Maybe some of the people who've been here at the Academy longer than I have would know more about the cure, if there even is one. Let's learn more about this plague. Tell me more about the Wailing Death. I don't know what more I can say about the plague. Everybody in the city is afraid of the Wailing Death. The bodies are piling up in the streets, and the citizens are on the verge of panic and open rebellion. So far, there doesn't seem to be any cure, and even the priests can't help those afflicted. I just hope those rumors of a cure for the plague turn out to be true. Alright, I think that's enough exposition on the backstory here. Yes, I suppose you need to get on with your training. You probably need to go speak to Olgerd in the next room and get your equipment so you can take the final test and finish your training. If you want any tips or instructions on adventuring, then don't forget to say hi to my brother Bim on your way out. Alright, I know quite a bit about this game already, actually, but let's talk to him because we have to get him to unlock the door, because right now, it's locked.
I saw you talking to my brother Pavel. My name is Bim. If you want, I can give you a short tutorial on adventuring.
You know what, Bim? I'm an experienced adventurer. I'm a level 1 fighter. I don't need to learn anything. So yourself, you should go through this door and speak to Olgerd, then. He'll get you set up with all the equipment you need to finish your training here at the Academy. Sounds great. Okay, so I will be doing something called save scumming. There is a quick save feature in this game. I'm so glad that it saves very fast with my current rig. So it's just a small flash whenever I quick save, and I don't have to edit that out every time if it takes seconds long. Alright, let's talk to Olgerd.
Hello there. Come to get yourself some supplies from old Olgar, have you? Good idea. Can't have you wandering about the streets naked. Might give the Academy a bad name.
Yes, it would. The city guard are already having enough trouble maintaining control as it is. Plague bodies piled a dozen deep in the gutters, the Wailing Death running unchecked through the districts. Horrible, I say. But you've heard all this before, I'm sure. Here, I've got some equipment for you. A fighter like you might find it handy in completing your training. Now, if you're ready, I'll give you a tutorial on how to access your inventory so you can use that equipment I just gave you. A little bit of fourth wall breaking. I like it. But I already know how to use my inventory. So he'll give you an item here. If you look at the log, hopefully you can read this. It says acquired item, chain shirt. You'll usually get an item based on your class. So I'm a melee fighter, so I'll get a little bit better armor. Different people get different things. I already know how to work my inventory. Well then, I guess you don't need to go over it, do we?
Oh, this might be a good time to teach you how to use the stores in the game. I have some items here you might want to purchase. Since you're part of the Academy, you get a special discount rate.
Are you interested in seeing my store? I'll give you a quick tutorial in how they work too. Yes. Oh, no, sorry. I do not want a tutorial. I don't need a tutorial on how to use the stores. Okay, I'm not one to go prattling on when the listener already knows what I'm saying. So you want to see my inventory now? Yes. Yes, I do. Great. I'm sure you'll find my prices most reasonable. When you're done, you'll find the door leading out of this room is unlocked. Alright, so we got a little notification here. Merchant's reaction is unfavorable, which means we will get crappy prices here. Like I said, I'm not going to be investing too much into appraise this run, so I expect to get bad prices. So we're going to be selling the short sword, rogue's tunic, and the studded leather armor. We will want a heavy shield. We have enough gold for it. Alright, AC is up to 17, respectable. That's where I'm going to call it for the first video. I'll see you guys later.